Jesus Christ, my internet is out for a week and this is what I come back to? Damn, I'm really inconsistent. Considering just how absolutely abysmally slow of a news day it must be, I'm suddenly getting a bunch of suggestions that apparently Wolfychu is a bad YouTuber. I mean, I've seen some of her content, and honestly, there's nothing to really say. It's mostly just anime-style commentaries and animatics that are clearly meant for very young high schoolers and middle school kids. Of course, I would never make a video explaining why I don't like her, because really, these are the kinds of videos I watched as a teenager on Newgrounds, and eventually just grew out of later. It's just not something I'm interested in anymore. I'm sure that over time that there's probably going to be about half of Wolfie's fans that just grow out of her videos, and then Wolfie herself will either go on to make more detailed animation altogether, or just quit the whole YouTube thing and then become a baker or something. Then the other half of her fanbase will just follow her on Twitter. Some people have taken it upon themselves to voice criticism against her, because apparently hating YouTubers is how you get famous nowadays. Okay, but really, there's some decently well-made arguments, such as when it comes to her line art and overall consistency, along with some misplaced tags. Problem Autumn does a very good video overall on Wolfie, and it has gotten an unnecessary amount of hate associated with it. Link in the description. Seriously, give it a like. It's a very well-made deconstruction. It has a few too many dislikes than it should. Of course, then we jump into the other side of the argument that is extremely petty and only sits to make for poor rant videos that have little to no real content and make for good low-hanging fruit for commentators that just don't want to try. I'm tackling one of the more famous ones today since, given his recent clarification video, he doesn't really show learning from any of this, and given that he does these clarifications a whole bunch, I feel I should just give a quick lesson to all of you that want to do deconstructions in the future. Sakura Turtles, trust me, this video is for you. Please listen to what I have to say at the end. And because you don't want people to take you out of context, I'll keep 100% of your original video intact. You're welcome. Finally, since I didn't really have another spot to put it, I won't be discussing Sweeto because honestly, I don't really care. I don't watch his vids and they shouldn't be necessary to explaining why Wolfie is good or bad as a content creator, so if you're looking for me to defend him as well, I really can't be bothered. And I don't really like his hair. That shit's whack, yo.
Okay, I know I said that this video would be a conspiracy debunk, but I said that on Twitter, and no one follows me on Twitter, so a philosophical argument could be made that I never really said that, so instead you get a Wolfychu video. But who is Wolfychu? Well, Wolfychu, or as I like to call her, Wolfychu, is one of the world's most popular uwutubers. What is an uwutuber? Well, an uwutuber is a YouTuber or streamer who, in place of a personality of their own, substitutes in a fake XD introvert anime girl persona so that they get more clicks based entirely on the fact that they're being someone who they aren't really in real life.
Alright, so somebody who pretends to be shy and cute for views. I can see why you would make that argument whenever it concerns Wolfie. I'm sure that you have a very good reason for calling her an uwutuber.
Life. A good example of another uwutuber is Shuru on Head. She's basically the only reason you need to be Mugtao.
And you already shoot yourself inside of the foot with your own argument. I mean, Shuon Head doesn't at all revolve around being a cute anime girl or anything. In fact, if anything, I would say that most of her content is pretty mature. She mostly centers around laughing at cringe and taking the piss on SJWs. So I guess that means that now Sargon and Makad, along with other people like Armored Skeptic and Repsion, are also uwutubers. You know what that means? They're cuties.
In this video, I'll be talking about why Wolfychu is not only one of the world's worst uwutubers, but should also probably be banned from YouTube. Also, Chili Panda's an idiot. More on that later. So, everyone else that talks about Wolfychu talks about her bland, unoriginal, copy-paste anime art style, but I won't be talking about her art style, because I'm much better at animation than I am at art, so instead I'll just talk about her animation, which is very easy to do because she has none. And I mean that literally, she does not animate. And I'm with you. which is strange because she calls herself an animator. Something that I know a lot of people know is that a really important trait of being an animator is actually making animations. And I don't want to set an arbitrary, you must have this many frames for it to be an animation. But if I do this, and then this, and then this, and call that a walking cycle, that doesn't count as a walking cycle because it's not giving the illusion of movement, which is what animation is. I mean, a bare bones definition of what animation is, but it's still a definition.
And by your own bare bones definition, it counts as animation. I mean, there's really not much that is required to be an animation. Something as simple as these slide transitions are animation. And hell, I mean, this little GIF here too, but you know what, we're gonna just ignore that. You can't use a bare bones definition for your argument because it can be very easily twisted to mean anything. Just as an example, you know soup? Well, if you look at cereal, the bare bones definition of soup matches cereal. That means cereal is in fact soup.
And even if you, for some reason, disagree with that objective fact that she doesn't animate, I can see absolutely no difference between her animations and her animatics. Like, you can put them side by side, you can switch the names, I will not find any difference. Don't call yourself an animator if you don't make animations.
Just let people be. Let them call themselves whatever they want. What would someone who makes these animatics call themselves? Animaticers? Cartoonists? Comic YouTubers?
No, don't call yourself an animator or an animatica because you make neither animations or animatics. Contrary to what you may believe, animatics aren't just unfinished or choppy animations, they're unfinished animations that will later be finished. They're the preliminary stages to finished animation. You can't just make 3 frames of animation and call it an animatic and then expect to be called an animator when you're wrong on 2 different levels. Unless you're saying that you do make animatics, Chili Panda, in which case you have an entire backlog of unfinished animatics that I'm expecting to see animated soon, and I'm expecting some DreamWorks level artwork from them. And Wolfychu, I'm expecting some Madhouse level animation from you too, with your bland, unoriginal anime art style. Don't worry, it's still better than Toei.
Nobody cares!
See, you could have had a decent point here with the animation, but instead you spend an incredibly long amount of time deliberating on the differences between animations, animatics, and glorified slideshows. These are not very important to your argument and shouldn't be used as means to say that Wolfychu herself is bad. Just as an example, you could have said something along the lines of saying that the anatomy is bad, that the colors aren't very well diversified, or that, you know, Wolfychu herself has a very big problem with same face. You could have said literally anything, and it would have been better. But instead of explaining as to why you don't quite like the animations themselves, you just spend a whole bunch of time using your very loose definition that they aren't animations.
Now I need to take a brief pause to talk about Chili Panda's awful video about her animator problems. And this won't be animated or edited, so if you skip ahead, then you're not missing anything.
Great!
Wolfychu does this really annoying Lily Pichu thing where she makes her voice go higher than it really should go. Except when Lily Pichu does it, she at least does it more naturally. But Wolfychu's voice is just very fake. Very, very forced and fake. And while I don't have any concrete evidence for this...
Hey guys, I don't really have evidence that, this one thing that I'm arguing about is fake, but I'm going to spend the rest of the video arguing as to why this person in particular is fake, even though I don't have any evidence of it.
Other than the fact that I have the average amount of chromosomes a person should have, if you look at her content, it wouldn't be too far off to assume that it would be faked. I mean, because her storytime videos are probably faked. I mean, there's lots of inconsistencies in them. She said in her Living With My Voice video that nobody really bothered her about her voice.
You might think that having a voice like this probably meant that I got bullied a lot growing up, but nope, nobody really cared back then.
But then later when she wants you to feel bad for her, in the same video, she then talks about how a lot of people bullied her for her voice and then she wanted to change it.
Every now and again, other people would say things to me about my voice, just out of the blue. Like this one time, I sat in somebody else's seat on accident and they got annoyed at me, so I apologized and they just said, "When is that voice gonna break?" Or other times where people would just make mean comments about how squeaky I sounded. All of the teasing back in school made me realize that my voice was different from most people's, which made me feel really self-conscious, and I felt like I needed to change it.
You done goofed.
She's saying that it generally wasn't an issue. You can talk about very specific instances and have it be outside of the norm. I mean, generally whenever I was growing up, I didn't really like fried chicken. But, I mean, look at me now, I order KFC almost every other day. This in particular is a weak instance of explaining why both her stories and her voice is fake.
Which, let me just say, that's not a terrible thing to have. She treats it as if having a high-pitched voice is this curse thrown upon her by Satan, but it isn't, because she says that outside of school, nobody really bothers her about it. So, what's the problem with it? And if it bothers you on YouTube, then you can just make your voice go deeper like Filthy Frank. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just use a voice modifier. If you're so tired of the comments, or as you said in your voice reveal video, that you were very scared about what the comments would say. If you were scared, then why didn't you just change your voice?
Yes, because using something like this for your videos definitely doesn't sound off or weird, or get people to constantly ask as to why you're using a voice modifier. Hell, even if this was my real voice, I wouldn't want to hide behind a voice modifier for all of my YouTube career.
And aren't you arguing that she should use her real voice anyway? Now you're arguing that she should use a modifier. I mean, at least stick to one side of the argument here.
Another reason I think her voice is fake is because she pushes this persona that she tries to make people believe that she's the cutie anime girl, when, although I don't know her personally, I can say that I'm pretty sure she isn't in real life. I mean, again, her stories have lots of inconsistencies in them, and even with that, I mean, you're a grown adult. Why are you trying to make people believe you're like a 15-year-old clumsy anime girl? Well, you're probably asking me, why would she do this? Why would she fake being an anime girl? Views, of course. As soon as she did her voice reveal, she blew up. And I won't entirely credit her blowing up upon her voice reveal, because that would be false. Her blowing up is more likely to do with the fact that she's a manipulator. I say manipulator because, unlike Chili Panda, I know how to use Google, and I know the definition of words before I use them. Wolfychu manipulates the site's algorithms to make her show up in places where she really shouldn't. And let me just say, you don't need any fancy third-party software to find the tags of videos. Right-click, view page source, Ctrl-F, keywords, you'll find them. Now, let's just see some of the tags of her more recent videos. Her Why I Can't Do a Face Reveal video has tags such as Wolfy Face Reveal in real life, Jordan Sweeto Girlfriend Face Reveal, which, fair enough. If someone's looking up her face reveal or wants to find her face, then they'll be redirected to this video explaining why she can't do a face reveal. Now, let's just see some of the tags of her other videos. Her Animatic on Doki Doki Literature Club has tags such as animation and animated, they're neither, but her magnum opus of tags, her Draw My Life video, has such a rich field of clickbait that I can't not mention it. It has tags including Jordan Sweeto Draw My Life, The Odd Ones Out Draw My Life, Jaden Animations Draw My Life, Let Me Explain Studios, and Let Me Explain Studios Draw My Life. Is this a higher plane of intelligence that Wolfychu has reached? It goes, you're stupid, you're borderline retarded if you try making videos reflecting the actual quality of what you can do, and then you're just pretty idiotic if you try to keep Odd Ones Out's name in the title, but then you're ascended if you keep Odd Ones Out's name in the tags, so that you won't get any of the flack of keeping his name in the title, and also you'll be able to manipulate YouTube's algorithms so that you can get what you want.
Yes, and there you see it. The magnum opus that proves that Wolfychu is in fact a bad content creator and a bad person in general is that she uses tags incorrectly. And I mean, you didn't really show off as to why the last one was inaccurate. You kind of just said that it was, and then you didn't really show why.
The purpose of this channel is to discuss things I find stupid. Most of this is conspiracy theories, I will admit, but really it's just anything that I can think of. So, I will always try within my power to never change this channel into something as terrible as a hate mob, and by telling you to flag Wolfychu's videos where she uses misleading metadata, that would be inciting a hate mob in a way. However, going by YouTube's rules, if you do find something that's breaking their rules, then you are supposed to flag it. And by not doing that, you're breaking the terms of service. So I won't be telling you to flag Wolfychu's videos for using misleading metadata, but if you were to ask YouTube, they definitely would tell you flag Wolfychu's videos for using misleading metadata.
Hey guys, I'm not telling you to flag these videos, but YouTube would want you to flag these videos. And, you know, I'm not a conduit to say that you should flag these videos, because, you know, I didn't specifically say to flag these videos, but, you know, YouTube would want you to flag these videos, so you should follow what YouTube says, and stuff. What?
I'll be talking about why Wolfychu is not only one of the world's worst YouTubers, but should also probably be banned from YouTube.
And you already shoot yourself inside of the foot with your own argument.
But you're probably asking, why do I care? Why do I even care? I mean, she's not hurting anybody, is she? I mean, it's not like her fame got to her head, and because of that her art style is constantly getting worse because she doesn't even need to try anymore. I mean, it's not like she's faking this persona very obviously for views, or that people like Chili Panda are perpetuating the myth that anything choppy is an animatic for some reason. It's not like she's manipulating the site's algorithm, something that is literally against the site's rules, and because of that she should be banned, but instead YouTube bans people who don't deserve it, or they just throw people who aren't as big as her under the bus because they don't have 1 million subscribers. Who'll care if they're gone? Who'll care if people like Just a Robot's channels are hacked, or that random people's channels are demonetized or taken down for no other reason than just because YouTube? I mean, it's not like I care about anything. It's jealousy. Why not? Yeah, I'm jealous. Or the right word is envious, but I'm still jealous. But, of course, all jokes aside, the real reason I made this video wasn't because of anything that I really discussed in this video. That was filler. The real reason I'm making this video is because she likes RAM, which means she likes ReZero, and anyone that likes ReZero should be ashamed of themselves. Okay, and done, bye.
Turtles, I know why you made this video. You were impassioned over the opinion that Wolfychu didn't deserve the amount of love and attention that she's got. Inspired by the likes of Just a Robot and other commentators, you wanted to throw your hat into the ring and explain her currently made up grievances to the public. Your issue is twofold. After you hear the first one, you can just drop a dislike and leave if you haven't already. The second one is more of a general statement to everybody that's making rant videos on her. You spent too much time on going into detail about as to why Wolfychu's videos aren't animation by your own very loose definition, and have very poor arguments overall as to why her personality and voice are fake. I gave a short example earlier of the Doki Doki footage, and something more of that nature, in both more detail and research, would have been better. It's less that your arguments are impossible to work with, and it's mostly that they were either very poorly explained or didn't have very good reasons to begin with. Again, some more time on research and overall quality of presentation, and you could have had something very good here. I see potential in your work, but please have someone to bounce off of just in case that you're not confident with it. Family members or just some random friends or social media, just get more ideas into that head, and I can definitely see you making very well made content. It'll cut down on those addendums too. The content I did cut from the video, the stuff on Chili Panda, was actually pretty good, and if the video was just that, I might have actually considered dropping a like. That section was actually very good, and is what made me believe that you could do better. Now, this is where I talk about Wolfychu herself and the recent drama I didn't want to discuss at first until I saw the sheer amount of shit being tossed at her. This recent bandwagon is so damn focused on just trying to prove that she's fake and doesn't even bother asking itself why. With how YouTube as a whole changed, doing a critique of one's work is harder since every day things are getting more niche and fans are becoming more polarized. However, that is no excuse for the baffling amount of videos currently dedicated to slander her because of her hiding her personal information. Sure, let's assume that it's all fake. Her story times, that she's using a voice changer, that, she's being cute for the sake of a younger audience, that will eventually just, grow up to follow her around and keep her relevant well past her time in the sun, or eventually grow out of her and gets a small dedicated following that will praise everything that she does. Even if all of that was fake, it doesn't matter to the quality of the content in question. There's absolutely nothing wrong with trying to critique the quality of the content produced, or any of the wrongdoings that she has committed to others out of her own preservation. But a lot of the videos as of late, with how hot button is, are just trying as hard as they can to prove that her voice is fake and that she's lying about herself, to the point that people storm Sweeto's Facebook to find her in images and spread around online that yes, This is her 100%, and you should believe me because I was hard-pressed to find out who this girl was and how I can expose them for the quote-unquote fraud that she really is. Sure, I like partaking in the lay cringe laughing every now and then, but I don't personally attack individuals unless they are being authentic shitbags. Wolfie does have some strange occurrences when it comes to her stories and her voice, but all of these exposed and debunking videos do not at all cover with concrete evidence that she is fake. On top of that, it doesn't matter if she is, because the preservation of one's privacy is not something you should decry someone of just because they don't want other people looking at them in real life for either benevolent or malicious purposes. I'll wait when the day comes that she actually puts out a statement that she is faking, or there is enough that proves that she is in fact faking everything about herself, and I'll eat my words and make a follow-up video. Until then, there's absolutely nothing of actual note to discuss. Oh, and the Wallheart video is coming and just don't have footage at the moment. Hollow Knight also isn't cancelled, I've just been playing Octopath way too much. Same with Splatoon. What was this video about? Oh right, I remember.
You gotta respect the neck.